journey we've just had for the last half an hour. This is your season 21 precap for the DLC slash UGC challenge play poll. I have with me, who's been a superstar, he's a hero, he's just come in at the last minute, Murray. Welcome, Murray. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, man.
Booby Man wanted to do one. We somehow had connection issues. I could hear him, he couldn't hear me. Story short, he was doing the live spiel of the first team, and I was saying to him, "Look, we're not live, mate. We're not live," and he just totally ignored me and kept doing it for a good 10 minutes. Bless his cotton socks. So hopefully we'll get Booberman to do one when our connections are better. But luckily we've got Murray, who's obviously a very good coach, who obviously was very close to winning himself a pro championship as well. So hopefully, we'll be able to talk 7 of these teams. We've also got one team we'll have a look for as well. I think it's Almost Killy. That's Rez's team as well. But this season, we'll just quickly chat about your team. You go on Chorfs, I do believe, Murray?
Yeah, it's just a standard build. Mighty Blow, and then Guard, and then Stand Firm.
Yeah.
One claw only this time around. So I got Big Badger in my group, and he has 5 Claw Mighty Blow and 1 Mighty Blow.
Oh, that's lovely.
So he's probably just gonna wreck my whole team, and that will be the end of that, which is fine. I can dish it out, I can take it, but it's gonna be interesting, and I am really looking forward to the reactions after that game. That's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I mean Chorfs. I mean, there isn't many Chorfs in the MML, isn't there? I mean, I think has Asher dumped his Chorfs now as well. I know Hawker's doing Chorfs, you're doing Chorfs, and I think Fight Hawker's doing Chorfs. So there's a bit of Chorf love now.
Here's the thing: I didn't know that people were playing that many Chorfs because I haven't been really active on Discord.
Right.
It usually doesn't end well.
Right.
and so I just took this team like as an interim team.
Yep.
And my Widows might come back. The playoff loss on the 1 and 6 stung pretty hard. I'm almost over it, not completely, almost. And I think that I felt like that was my chance to win the championship, basically, because you need a really good run to go the whole way. It's really, really hard. But anyways, a little sad that there are so many Chorfs. I know it's kind of not the most liked team. But then again,
I'll tell you a quick story while everyone's getting in. I mean, I play, obviously. I saw your game. Obviously, it was a cruel way you lost it, so I understand that. I remember, obviously, the champion ladder. I would never won the title before, and it's really hard. Like you said, you've got to have quite a bit of luck and get the momentum and just get it done. And I remember taking a Bretonian team. What was only 6 games, and I got it to the final, and I served his ball carry in overtime. And the crowd threw it. They could have thrown it anywhere but one place, and I'd have been the champion. And they threw it to the only place where you had, I think, 1 player left. And obviously, he caught him run. And it took a long time for me to get over that. But I didn't give up. And since then, I've won 2 championships. And I'm now in the final again this season. Now, them 2 championship wins came about 6-7 seasons after what happened with the Bretonians. So I was feeling the same as you, gutted, and thought that was my chance. I ain't going to get a better chance than that. But if you keep going at it, and if you're a good coach like you are, then usually you'll get another chance, is what I'm saying. So don't feel too bad. Just keep trying.
And I will. This Chorf team. So let's look back a couple of seasons. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do with my Wood Elves. I thought I knew what I wanted to do with my Chaos team, but I kind of misbuilt them, and they were at like 1600 TV, not enough tackle. And the way the MML is set up, I just like playing Agi teams better. Because even though people give you flack for point and click, you always run the risk of an AV7 team imploding, which is the big drawback. And I had a strength 5 war dancer that died. I have a natural 1 turner that died, and it wasn't actually that a big a deal. I kind of don't try to care about the players anymore. I just play to win. if something dies, it dies. It's gone. That's just my mentality now, and probably might lose me long term. But I want to win now, right? Because I'm playing now.
Chorfs are a good team. They're a solid team, and obviously we will eventually one of these days. In one of these next 7 days, I will be obviously pre-capping your team as well. So we'll have a look at them anyway.
I'm not going to plug another league, but I have won another league with Chorfs. But it was only, I think it was 16 players that season.
Yeah,
So I think the good thing with Chorfs is they have a very strong backbone with the blockers. You have the bulls, who you can build in a little bit different ways, who are basically always a threat. And then the fact that you have the, in my opinion, 2 best skills on the blockers, block and tackle. It's like the 2 best skills offensively in the whole game, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might be wrong.
Yeah, solid. Right, shall we get on with it then? I'm going to just go through all the teams. I am going to look at the conferences, guys. We're going to start with This Blood's for You. The Doomfrog is the coach. Dwarfs have been doing all right. There's been quite a few new dwarf coaches. Hez and Spawn, off the top of my head, they're dwarf coaches. I quite like dwarfs. I'll be honest. I'm one of those who like them. I know a lot of people don't like them. Looking at this team, what do you think, Marie? Is it okay? Do you think? Do you like it? Don't like it?
Way too low on guard. I always say that. I know. I keep. But when you play dwarves, I think you just have to take as many 2D blocks as you can, because you're slow, so you need stuff on the floor, and kind of it's a very grindy game, more so I would say than a lot of other teams, because your linemen are so slow that if you get out of position, you just run. You will get overrun. So yeah, low on guard. Otherwise, I don't know if 2 runners is standard. I don't know if I like it or not. Probably not. It's a lot of TV, 170k and 200k. But I guess if one goes down, you want the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. Then it's also the death roller. I would probably not play with that if I wanted to min max. 250k, one drive, and then he's out, and then you're down to like 1450.
I mean, it does have the referee's rest area, so he does get a brab, so he can obviously Langston roll a 1
half the time.
So he'll have when he's at home, he'll have that option.
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's not enough guard in this. For 1710, he needs a lot more guard. I think people take the death roller because it's a good piece and it's a lot of fun. So if that's what he's taking it for, I.
And I mean, he has block, awesome.
What's really good.
I never played dwarves. I think I played 2 games of dwarves. But I think I agree with you. I think I like the team. It's very thematic. It's very, they're slow. They're thick-skulled. I don't think dwarves have ever won MML.
I think they might have won it the first season. I know a dwarf team won it, but it's very, very early in the MML history. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be someone in chat who will be able to tell me, but I've got a feeling it might be in the season 1 dwarfs won it. But it was really early. We'll see if someone knows. But
I just kind of feel that I don't think that they can do that much against the really quick teams if it's 2 even players, especially if it's on very high level.
Yeah.
And they kind of crumble to Claw Mighty Blow. So yeah, it's like this mid-range team that can do really well. But I think that I haven't looked at the whole group, so I think he might still do pretty well just because of what the group composition looks like.
Yeah, I mean, in this division, it still should do pretty well. It needs more guard. That's what it needs. I mean, obviously the death roll is great, and like obviously when he's at home, he'll get the brab as well. But like you said, when he's not at home, it's a big drop off, isn't it? Especially if he plays against a fast scoring team.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I focus a lot of stuff on skills, because I think it's the easiest thing to talk about. I don't really. I guess the stand firm on the Troll Slayer is so that he can actually frenzy to the side and then not have to worry about getting surfed.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I can really think about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess you want like pylon.
Yeah.
You want probably what's that called? The one where you can turn both down into push.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, he's only got 2 rerolls though, so that's a bit of a concern.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got a
especially
lot of
since
block,
they're only 100k.
Yeah.
And he had 190k in the bank. Maybe he was saving for transfer.
Maybe. But it's not a bad team. Looking at, I know we haven't really had a look, but looking at the rest of the teams, what do you think he'd be best against? What do you think he'd
Here's
fancy?
the thing. I don't know how well the other teams can use inducement.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that Jim can really use the inducement in a good way because he's goblins, and I think they have a lot of stuff they can choose between. So I don't think that having the TV up on him is maybe going to do as much. Against the necromantic, I think they're going to suffer. Not having block on the wolves, they're going to be, if he doesn't defend them, they're going to be down a lot. But he can get some early, lucky casts or something like that. But yeah, I don't like the position of both the necromantic teams against the dwarves. So I would say that those are probably the ones that will suffer. The vampires can do stuff all the time if they just don't roll. If they roll 3+ and 2+.
Yeah.
But necromantic suffers. Probably gonna be able to, I don't know. Seston is playing
Camry,
and I think that's the team that he might be able to suffer, especially if Seston can position the Tomb Guardians correctly, because they're strength 5 and they have guard 3 of them, so they can tie up a lot of guys, especially since Doomproc doesn't have a lot of guard.
That's the problem.
Camry bad, necromantic good.
Do you know what? I totally agree with everything you just said there. I think the Necro teams are probably he'll love playing against either of them 2 teams, even though they do have Claw. And I think the Camry and he'll be the dangerous team because all that strength, and he's got not much guard. I mean, he does have the Death Roller, what could help. But these Camry have got 3 guard already and the strength 5, so that to me would be a major issue. I'm just going to look at the ogres at the moment because they're quite high strength as well. We've got 6 of them as well. 3 guard. That's quite a nice team, to be fair. The Mighty Right Reds. I think the same as you. I think the good matchups are the Necro, and the bad matchup for him is definitely Seston's Camry. I think.
And even more so if he can position the Tomb Guardians, because those are kind of the key pieces, because they're slow, but they are annoying to get down. Of course, he can take -2 dice, but you can't rely on that.
No.
Red dice.
And Seston, you'd expect him to be able to position right. So I agree with that.
Definitely.
Right. Okay, let's get on to the second team then, and that is actually Seston's All-Hail King Seston. Another Camry team. I'm a 10 on a Tomb Guardian.
Yeah, I hate it, but it is what it is. I don't get it. It's just guard for me. Not that I play this.
Yeah.
Don't see any reason to take it, even if you want to keep in there. Even if we take out Claw Mighty Blow, let's just ignore that exists. I would still not take it.
Yeah.
But it's his team. Other than that, I kind of like the diving tackle on a random skeleton. Just say that I'm going to put him there and you're going to have to blitz him.
Yeah. I like that.
A break tackle on a strength 4 skeleton, I have no idea. It's a fucking expensive piece. It's a weird team. I hope he does well with it.
Yeah. I mean, Seston, he's done this with a lot of fun. I mean, even the club he's gone for Royal Box, so double the fan factor. So he's loving that. I think he's got a bit of character. Like I said, the AV10 is quite funny. His throw rise movement 7, that's good. And his split rise obviously got strength 4, movement 7, so that's good as well.
That's a key piece for him. If he can get him another level up and get him. I mean, does he want him on the floor? Probably, if he can protect him. I would go for pylon, just to have that one blitz every turn that you actually, up your chance of removing something. But yeah, other than the armor up, I don't hate it. The break tackle I hate. No, I don't hate it. It's just a weird choice. I would have taken block and just have strength 4 blocker on the line of scrimmage when you hit. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's I think it's a double as well, isn't it? Because his strength is break tackle, so
yeah,
interesting. But if he gets, it might give him wrestle next and maybe try and make him being a ball sacker. Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Double. It is a double. Well, what we have taken, I would probably have taken dodge, and then hope for another level up and take block. No, not dodge, not an agi 2 piece. Never mind, that's just silly. I don't know.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see how he if he survives. It'll be interesting to see how he builds that guy anyway. So that's pretty cool.
If there's one team I want to see play in this play group, I want to see the Games of System, because this team is just it can do a lot. I think even with the weird skill choices.
Yeah, it's got some interesting choices, hasn't it? So he's got the Royal Box as his thing, and he's got a good record: 9 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses. So they know what they're doing. What do you think is his best matchup out of all them teams there?
I don't really know. It feels like one of these groups where there's just 2 teams that is going to suffer, the necromantic teams. But good matchup. I mean, he might just run over one of the necromantic teams.
Yeah.
Just because of the lack of anything, and he can give himself like 3 dice all over the place.
Yeah.
To keep it safe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awkward, this sort of thing, isn't it? Because obviously the necro teams are going to get a lot of flack because they're so not developed.
But if we ignore them, let's say we took them out, then there's no. I think it's pretty even amongst the other teams.
Yeah, because
I haven't seen Jim play goblins, I think, and that
he plays them very well. He plays them very well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that will be interesting to see, because how you induce matters a lot with goblins, I think.
Yeah, I think if I wasn't gonna pick the necro teams, I think I'd go with the dwarfs. I just think, like I said, especially if they're away from home, they only get the death roll for 1 drive, and that after that they're only on like 1400 TV. Seston will obviously have inducements against them as well, and he's got 4 strength 5, he's got guard, he's got everything else, he's got a good blitzer, he's got a decent thrower. So I think the dwarfs are a quite good matchup as well compared to
what is the last team actually?
It is almost Killy. It is Resno's Chaos.
Okay.
So that's gonna have claw, I would imagine.
What's the TV, do you know?
I have no idea, I haven't checked them yet.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just going with the 7 we've got, and we'll have a look at that one in a minute. Worst matchup then for Seston, do you think?
Probably the Chaos then.
Yeah, with the thing. Let's see if I can I'll just go out with it, see if I can find, so we can have a quick look at his team now. Almost Killy. Let's have a look. It was pretty decent last time I saw this team, so I'll just have a quick look. And obviously it's not there, that's useful. I had a feeling they won't be able to go into another way of finding them. If they're not on there, then I give in. Let's try it this way. God, I have to go all the way.
I mean, the only reason I want them to release Blood Bowl 3 is because Blood Bowl 2 doesn't have a lot of settings. You can't sort on anything.
Yeah.
You can't set up custom tournaments, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. If they released like a DLC for I would pay like €20 if they fix all of those things.
Yeah.
Just added like everything. The problem is they can't add it, because then people will be like, well, what if some don't buy it? Well, can't you use it then? Well, probably not.
Well, I'm just looking at his team now. It's 1740, almost Killy.
Oof.
And that's without one of his warriors, what's missing at the moment. He's got 2 strength 4 beastmen, obviously levels up. So he's got strength 5 warrior. He's got mighty blow claw warrior. And he has this strength 4 beastman called Ramsey has block, claw, and mighty blow as well. So he's got a bit of everything. He's got a frenzy beastman with block and tackle as well, and agility 4 beastman. this team looks far ahead of everything we've seen so far. They kind of
this
probably...
is a very it's a very well balanced team. He got a lot of block. It's only 2 pieces that doesn't have block or wrestle. My only concern, if it wasn't in this group, is his lack of tackle. Yeah. But there isn't a lot of dodge, so it's not going to be an issue for him. He just needs that 1 piece with tackle, basically. I mean, he's probably going to get it on Ramsey's probably going to get tackle. He will probably get it on Fuzzy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like the perfect play pool for him.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It looks like a very, very good play for him. Yeah,
I wonder how that happened.
naughty.
Yeah, nah.
But yeah, I mean,
that's a good team. That's a good team. Definitely.
A crazy team. Right, so I'll go back.
Are they coming out of the? Are they coming out of the trophy case?
No, I think he must have just I don't know. He's just not accepted his ticket yet. But if for some reason they're not in the farm or MML at all, so I can't, obviously when I go through the MML, it just doesn't find it. So I've had to come another way. So I'm going to go back into the UGC, whatever thing. Yeah, so that'll be a pretty bad matchup for Seston for definitely. Before I saw that, I was going to go with Titillating Sparkles, just because the vampires have 2 agility 5. Vampires on a 2+ can just bust open the cage and let something go through and get the ball loose. So that's what I was going to go with. But obviously the Chaos, they're probably going to be a bad matchup for just about everyone here. To be honest. But yeah, Seston, I think he's going to have a good chance. Obviously, his team's built quite well. It's quite funky as well. Obviously, he's a former champion. So in this sort of pool, I'd expect his Kemi, as long as it don't explode, should be there or thereabouts fighting for a place. And I think there's only 3 play pools in challenge, so the 2 best third place finishers make the playoffs as well. So I can see him pretty close to getting to the playoffs, I think. But we'll see. Anyway, mighty Reds then. Let's have a look at these Ogres.
Kudos to Turn Mison for playing Ogres.
Yeah. It's a nice team as well.
But I mean, Ogres are just terrible. Like in general.
Yeah, they're a bit of a... It's not a team I could play, I'll be honest.
No, for block is nice on the Ogres, definitely. A strong arm agility 1, amazing. A strength 6, movement up 1, can reach better with tackle, amazing. Yeah. I love that piece. Uglena Manish, what an amazing piece. Break tackle, can actually break tackle into 2 tackle zones on a 2+, right?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it's a beast.
So he can run into a cage on a 2+. And hit with...
Be 3 tackle zones, wouldn't it, in a cage?
No, sorry. Yeah, so it's a 3+.
Still
acceptable.
Yeah,
definitely acceptable.
I like
if you
this
can get
team.
A shot.
The only negative I have about this team is it's not got a bench, and the Nobbles aren't going to last long. He's got 2 agility 4s as well, so you'll be able to throw them. So,
but I mean, they're 20k. He can probably
get 1,
replace them. Hopefully, he doesn't roll a 1, so he can replace more than dice.
Yeah. I think this team's got a chance in this play pool. I mean, them Ogres are very nice. I mean, he's got 2 agility 3 Ogres, and like I said, he's got that number 2 Ogre, what is amazing. Glenn Manish, he's pretty tasty. And having forward block.
And imagine Fat Albert getting a double and getting Nerves of Steel.
Nice.
That would be quite amazing.
That'd be very nice. But he's got a long way to get another level.
That's true. That's probably not happening.
Yeah.
It's a cool team. I like it. It's always nice when this kind of teams get these kinds of roles on the skill ups.
Yeah. He's got 8 wins, 11 draws, 30 losses. So record's not great, but he's playing Ogres. But you know what? I think the way his team's built, he's got to have a chance in this play pool. He plays them quite well. So. I
mean, you always have that risk of losing because of one bad turn of boneheads. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's enough to have like 2, 3 boneheads, and then they're just standing there because I think they have no tackle zones. Then I think they lose their tackle zones. which is just horrible. But yeah, looking forward to this. Maybe they can, kill some skeletons.
Yeah.
Or put some pressure on the dwarves.
Yeah, they'll do well. But who do you think is his best matchup for the ogres?
Best matchup? I don't know. Best matchup.
So I just think
I'm not sure about that.
I see the Necro, I would say, but the Necro still got fast pieces. But it's that pull where the Necro are going to take most of the flak. I mean, I think the Ogres have got a chance against most of these teams, to be honest. They should be able to bully the Goblins, but you just the special weapons of the Goblins would scare you. And obviously, even the Goblins can beat Nobblers, so that's quite funny. And obviously, the Necro, at least they've got one mighty blow on the Cadaver Robbers, but I'm going to go with Dead Corporation just because of a new team. And obviously for the West matchup, it's definitely almost killing because with all that claw.
I think, and this is kind of the problem when you do this, is that if there is a team or two that is just weak, they're going to be picked every round. But it is what it is. It's just what happens. But if I would go if I would ignore the necromantic teams, I think best matchup. Probably. What is a good matchup? Can he dominate the dwarves just because of their slow speed and low strength 3?
Because they haven't got much guard, have they? That's the thing. They haven't got much guard, and that's why I think Seston's team could bully him. The Ogre could certainly bully him, especially if they drop a few early. Obviously, tackle. Tackle.
I think they can steal a win against the dwarves. Yeah.
Who do you think is the worst matchup? Do you think it's the Chaos, or do you think it's someone else?
Yeah, definitely the Chaos.
Chaos
but I think the Vampires can do a lot of shenanigans to get to the ball, especially because of the Agi5.
Yeah.
So they can pick away 2 pieces, and then they have a free in quotation mark get to the ball. So I think the Vampires can be really annoying, especially if they get a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be.
And then you just pick it up with an Agi5 and you run away, and then it's going to be hard to get the ball back.
And that's the thing with the Ogres, isn't it? As good as the team they are quite high TV because of obviously all the skills they've got. So they are going to give adjustments to some of these teams, unfortunately. But we will see. Right, here's a team that's pretty decent. Titillating Sparkles. They've got 2 Agility 5 Vamps. So that's basically 2 + 2 up and upper cage.
I like it. I think it's. I haven't seen a lot of Vampires. I played against actually. Who was it? It was Geo. I think I played quite a bit in the farm.
Yeah.
With Shorfs when I was farming the shit out of Shorfs, and I think we ended up with like a 50-50 win rate because there were games where. I think he had Agility 5 and he could pick it up. If it went anywhere, he just picked it up. And I like that he has a bench. I think that's great. You can be much more carefree where you put your stuff.
Yeah. I like this. I think this is a pretty decent team for 1550. What's it saying? These Vamps are fat from off-season, slow, stupid, and smell of mustard. Fair enough. I know that obviously the Goblins of Jim and the Vamps have got a bit of a rivalry going on, so it'll be interesting to see how them 2 teams play out again. But he's got, like I say, he's got Mighty Blow Vamp, and he's obviously got 2 very nice Agility 5s.
And I like Vampires because they really put a huge, 2-minute turns. I wouldn't play Vamps. It's just not enough time. It wouldn't be enough time for me. I think 3 minutes is much, much better because you need 30, 40, 50 seconds to figure out your turn, and then you actually have to execute it. So I think the format with 2 minutes is quite harsh against Vamps, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe he's used to it. Maybe he figures out the Hypnogases really quickly, and then it's not really a problem. His win, he has 6, 1, and 9 which is this must be his
second season, I'd imagine.
His...
He has, but yeah, he played last season.
Oh yeah, season 20, yeah, and there he went 2-1-4, which is expected with Vamps. They can kind of crumble a couple of bloodlusts, a misplaced thrall, and it's kind of just okay. I just lost the Vamp this drive, or until there's a touchdown. Yeah. So yeah, no, I like Vamps. I think it's a cool team. They can do a lot of stuff. They can even be. Sometimes they're more elfy than elves, but not on average, I would say. But they can actually like out elves, which is cool. I like it.
What do you think is his best matchup then? Because I think I'm going to go with the Khemri just because they can like hypnogaze the strength 5 Tomb Guardians and just get in there. I think, and obviously it would have been like, are they agility 2? Are they throwers? I can't remember.
Do you really want to base a Tomb Guardian and risk a POW?
Oh yeah, if I'm going to get the shot the ball, definitely every day of the week.
Yeah, sure. If you shot the ball, yeah. And you will of course do it with your blotch first.
I just
it's
think
the safest.
I just think as good as this Khemri team is, I think that could go into the Vampire's hands. So I think instead of picking on the Necro, I'll go against the Khemri. So I don't know if you agree or you think of a different team or.
No, I think I agree. The Necromantics are really, really quick, so they can keep up. The Goblins, again, it's so hard to judge. I think he will have enough inducements to put up a really good fight. And when it comes to tough matchup, I think he might be grinded down by the Dwarves. Just because of, the Thralls are AV7. You don't need that much Mighty Blow. They just disappear.
Yeah, I think the worst matchup is going to be the Chaos, probably. I think the Chaos could take care of one or two of them Vamps, and all of a sudden that team's in a world of trouble. But I think that Chaos team now should be, really should be looking at pro level now, because the team is where it should be competing at pros, I think.
I think that team is a little bit misplaced, to be honest. It doesn't really fit into this group. Nothing against the player at all. Yeah. It is what it is. It's how it works. But it just feels like the rest of the group is kind of like not balanced, but it's not like ogres are ogres. They suck. The dwarves are slow. The Khemri is 1500 TV, and the Vamps are 1500 TV. So yeah, all the other teams I feel can actually be fighting for like that second spot. Well, not so much the Necromantics, but the other, 5 teams?
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen Assassin Bros ever play, and with it being a brand new team, I don't know what quality of a coach he is. So it's all.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. So he could be really good, and he could maybe show us all up here and do well. But I think it's always tough coming in with a brand new team. But like I said, there might even be a third place up for grabs here, because like I said, the best 2 third placed finishers will make the playoffs as well. So so there's all to play for. It's not the first time I've seen a challenge player pool where there's one team what just stands out so far from the rest of them. But usually what happens is after a season they get promoted anyway. So it is what it is, I guess. And whichever these teams do get promoted, they'll be facing a lot of them teams. So it is what it is, I guess.
Definitely.
Right, let's look at the Necro team then. Cadaver, when I get up, Cadaver Robbers. They at least have a Mighty Blow Wolf. Hasn't got block, but he's at least got a bit of punch. But again, not much there, is there? I think he came in with a brand new team. In fact, he did, because he's only played 7 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 5 losses. So it was a tough first season for him. He got beat by the Dwarfs, who were in this division. He got beat by almost Killy, but it was only 1-0, so it wasn't too bad. And he played some good teams as well, the Mob Stars, the Liege Lords, Southern General, and Daxit Crushers. So it was a really tough play pool he was in. So I think we can slightly ignore the lopsided record to a certain extent. I think you'll find this play pool a bit easier because there's a few lesser teams, developed. And eventually if he can get block on his Mighty Blow Wolf, because that'll help. But again, it's another team, isn't it, what needs development. this sort of team what needs a couple of seasons in challenge, because if this goes to pros, it's in a world of pain. So it's hard to say much about it because there's not much there. And even best matchups, if you go with a Necro, the other Necro team's going to have a Wizard. So I'm going to go best matchup is the Goblins, because the Goblins aren't going to get much inducements. And they've at least got a Wolf going around with Mighty Blow, what can cause carnage, I guess.
Yeah. And especially if you can survive that first onslaught from the
special weapons.
Goblins.
Yeah. So I would go with a West matchup. Well, there's quite a few, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can pick whatever you want. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think Chaos are going to be the worst match for everybody. I think that's fair to say. I think even the Dwarfs, even though it's my block claw, he's only got on one, they're still solid enough to do some damage. So I'll just go with the Dwarfs. The Dwarfs already beat them already, so I think I'll go with the Dwarfs as the worst matchup. But
I agree.
It's just a tricky player pool, isn't it? But I wish him all the best. Right, now then, the Knuffles Garage Band. I do have some info on this team. Just bear with me. Let's have a look. See if I can find it. I do have something. I've got a lot of messages as well. That doesn't help. Let's have a look. Jim. Right. Okay. I'm gonna just read it because it's like a bit of fluff. Coming off a successful first season where they better only lost 2 losses, Knuffles Garage Band spent the off-season living in the extravagant Nagaroth junkyards. Their every wish was granted as they could sift through the rubble and find just about anything they desired. One such expedition rendered them a prized treasure, an unopened can of titillated sparkles, look good grey poop on mustard. This became a rallying cry for the group, as the Sparkles were one of the 2 teams that bested them the prior season, and they have deemed this mustard jar/cup, of which will be given to the winner of their seasonal matchup. So basically he's found this cup, and he's obviously going to be playing for it between them and the Vampires, and whoever wins it keeps the cup. So it's a bit like the Ashes in cricket, in what obviously I watch, or a cup or something like that. So, the Goblins did well last season. I did say they'd do very well. They only lost 2 games, and the last 2 games they lost as well. They only won 1, but they did draw 4. So, it was quite hard to beat. I mean, it was a Wood Elf team what beat them. Athlone Arrows, so that's Cav's team what made the final. So no disgrace there. And they got a good draw against the Mighty Reds. They actually drew with the Fun Size Punchers 1-1 as well. Was an impressive performance. And Delta Force as well. And they're like pro teams. So, I think, looking at the roster, it's not very good. It's deliberately kept the TV down to the low as possible. He's got the Knuffle Altar as well. So, on paper it looks nothing, but obviously it is coached by a very good coach who knows how to play them, and it will rely on inducements. I'm very surprised it doesn't have an apothecary though. I think it should pay for an apothecary when he's got some cash. I don't know about you.
How does it work with the home and away games? Does the game try to make it?
It's just random.
So you could technically get 7 games of home games.
Yep, I think last season I had 2 at home, 5 away, so it wasn't great. So yeah, if these are away, then obviously it'll be a lot harder. But if they get more at home, then that's obviously going to help, isn't it? But again,
there is a problem though.
What?
Then that is the fact that if he's unlucky, he gets home games against the Necromantics and can't really use it that well.
Yeah,
and then he gets his away, because he really wants his home game against Ogres, Dwarves, Chaos.
Yeah, that is true. But again, it's one of those play pools, isn't it? You just don't know what to get. I think the Goblins can get quite a bit of fun out of this, to be honest. I mean, that's what you're playing for anyway. But even against the Necros, I don't think you'd be too worried. It'll give them a good go. He'll be wanting revenge over the Vamps.
You can always foul.
Yeah, you can always foul them. That's what Goblins do, isn't it? And like you said, obviously against the Ogres and the Dwarfs, and can we not even get the Knuffles Altar, that'll be great. But there is some cheap star players as well. So, what do you think is his best matchup?
Probably I don't know. How is he gonna solve the strength of the ogres. I don't know. Probably the Khemri, right? Enough inducements. Yeah. He has pieces to take down the mummies, or is it Tomb Guardians? I can never remember.
Tomb Guardians.
Yeah. The dwarves is going to be tough just because of the block and tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's not...
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, he drew with the Mighty Reds last season. You know, he obviously found a way of getting that done. I think he against the Necros, I think he'll do all right against. I think they're quite good matchups. The Dwarfs are a funny one because he's getting a lot of inducements, and he can obviously get the other troll as well. So that'd be three very strong pieces. You can get a wizard and all that. I think, and I very rarely say this, but I think the best matchup for him is the Dwarfs. Just because of the amount of inducements he's got, the lack of guards on the dwarfs, and obviously if they're playing at the goblins' home ground, then obviously he doesn't get the brab. Does the dwarfs, and if the dwarfs are at home, the brab will help special teamers for the goblins. So,
yeah.
You know, I very rarely go goblins better than dwarfs, but I think this dwarf team's just lacking a few things, and there's a lot of TV tied up in that death roller. So I'll go with that as the best matchup. West matchup, God knows. I don't know. West matchup.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with the Vamps.
I have no idea.
Because they beat them 2-0, and they have a bench, and they can just waltz in there. Hello, Mr. Strength 2 Goblin. I'm just going to take the ball off you and go away again. I mean, obviously the Chaos, they're going to be a nightmare, but I can't be bothered saying them all the time, so I'm going to go with the Vamps to repeat their 2-0 victory last season. That's what they'll be wanting to do. But I think the Goblins looking good. I think they've got a chance. I mean, like I said, they played really well last season, and I think this is a bit more kind of this division, so I hope Jim does extremely well. Dead Corporation then, well, there's not much we can say about this team because it's brand new.
No.
I've never seen the coach play. I have no idea unless Jim can tell me something. I just don't know what to say about this team apart from it's always tough bringing a new team into the competition.
Especially with this team. I mean, if it was Dark Elves, it would have been another thing. Elves can do. They can really use inducements. But what can I don't know what a necromantic team can do with inducements really, except getting maybe a player or a wizard or something like that. And you don't really have any good ball recovery. So even if you wizard, if your opponent is keeping the ball safe-ish, you're going to pick up on like a 4+. It's really risky. Yeah.
And they've only got 2 rerolls as well. And Jim's saying he's one of the few coaches he doesn't know either, so nobody knows about this coach. I think if he's above average though, coach, I think he could surprise us. It's always tricky when you've got nothing to go on, no history of games, nothing, just nothing. So I guess this season will just all be about trying to keep alive and building for future seasons, I would have thought. But there's not really much we can say about them, can we?
But I've always found necromantic, like, I don't know win rate wise, but I just always like them better than undead because of the wolves. Because I feel they are, they can do so much more.
Yeah.
They have much more potential. But then again, when you go in fresh, you're denying yourself to at least have a 1400 TV start to work from. Because basically he's going to spend 2 seasons just building the team probably, and then the 3rd or 4th he might start, actually, if it survives, and that's a pretty big if. I think Undead are a lot better at low TV than Necro. I think Necro coming to their own higher up they go. So sure.
it's going to be tough for him. I mean, I don't know. It's just a funny play pool. It's up for grabs. I mean, apart from the Chaos, the rest of them have all. I wouldn't say any of these teams can't make the playoffs because I think it's just an open play pool. Obviously, inducements like you get Cheney, pieces like that for the Necro that'd help. But you know, I just don't know. I mean, best matchup for these, I'd go with the Goblins, just because the Goblins won't get any inducements, really.
Inducements, yeah. No, I think it's a really interesting play pool, because ogres are. I don't know if are ogres considered a stunted team. I guess so.
I'm not sure. I mean, they have got stunted players, haven't they? But they've also got 6 big strength. I think they could be. I'm not sure. Jim might know.
But I mean, it's a kind of special team. They don't play by the same rules. Vampires are very different.
Yeah.
I think Khemri is one of the more interesting bashy teams because they're not all bash.
Yeah.
They kind of play more of a control game. I think. Dwarves are dwarves. You hate them, you love them. I don't actually have. I'm not on either side. I think play what you want to play. That's my philosophy. But yeah, I mean, obviously the chaos. I mean, I don't see how the Chaos won't win this. I think he will have to be very unlucky. I mean, maybe if he gets the Ogre's first game and the Ogre somehow gets some early casts and then it just rolls from there.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no really scary team for the Chaos to go up against. Because he is the bash team in this play pool.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the team now because obviously I've just moved on to almost a killer now because there's not really much more we can say about the Necro. I mean, this team to me is so far ahead than everything else, and it's coached by a former champion, and it's going to be tricky for everybody else. I mean, they may get beat,
What's his? Go check the statistics. Because I don't have the team up.
14 wins, 6 draws, 9 losses. So.
All right, but what does the farm look like? If you go to the farm one.
I have no idea.
I just want to know. No, statistics.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And then
now look at the farm.
You can just check the.
Okay, the farm 942.
942. Okay.
And then the DLC fund was 214. We lost 4 games, and then last season 313. So he got most of his wins in the farm.
Yeah.
Looking at this, they've struggled a bit in the other one, but
chaos takes a while to develop.
Yeah.
I think they start to shine around 1600 plus.
And he's there now, isn't he? He's there now, and he's got his ball handlers, he's got his frenzy. This team now there's no excuses with this team this season. Jim saying Rezo P, he should be in this. This team, I try and keep it exciting, but to be honest, if this team doesn't win the division, then it's something's gone wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they somehow crumble first game against 3-4 MNGs and a stat down, and otherwise there's because I don't see any of these teams being able to bully this team, and that's the big thing.
I remember watching the last few turns between the Ogres and this almost killie, and the Ogres should have got a draw, but it did something crazy. Instead of leaving the ball where it was, it tried to pick it up. And it failed. It went out into the crowd, and the crowd threw it into a nice position for the Chaos, and the Chaos ended up winning it. So, if Tarn had just left it, he would have probably got a draw. So, this team is a lot stronger than the one Tarn faced, and this team would be getting, at the moment, if they played first game, would be getting the inducements as well. What's scary. I think the team, what could cause this team problems losing players would be the Goblins, because I can see the Goblins just kicking, fouling, chainsawing, throwing bombs at them. If the Goblins have a going day, they could retire a few of these players. Because that's what Goblins can do. But yeah, I think, looking at this team, it looks pretty serious.
I mean, yeah, and it's balanced. It doesn't really have any big weaknesses. It can do it all. Pick up the ball. Be bashy, control,
Yeah. So There we go. So I'm going to just go back to the thing now. Right, okay. So we come to the time now where we're going to obviously pick our top 2, but we also have this thing called bold prediction. I don't know if you know about it, but we just claim something's going to happen, what's going to be so bold, something crazy in the play pool. So for instance, I am going to... What can I claim? Oh god, this is a crazy play pool. Ball prediction is... Okay, my ball prediction is there will be more casualties and deaths in this challenge play pool than the other 2 challenge play pools. Is what I'm going to predict. I'm going to write that down so I know. Because I think there's going to be carnage in this play pool. And not because of just the chaos. So that's my prediction. Do you have a prediction? A ball prediction?
Ooh. I think that... Oh, I don't know the coach, that's the thing. But...
Leap of faith required.
I actually... I don't know if it's a fun one, but...
That's alright, fun's good.
I would be so happy if the Goblins won this play pool, so that's what I'm going to predict.
Good one. So Nuffle Garage to win the play pool. Fantastic.
Yeah. And while doing that, causing the most deaths.
Oh, yes. Most deaths.
In the whole league.
In the whole league? God, Jim's got some big boots to fill with all that. If that happens, though, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So there you go. That's much better than mine. Right, let's see who we think's going to finish in the top 2 then. Who do you think's going to come second?
I so want to say the vampires, but I don't think so. I think... Oh, I don't know if it's the dwarves or the Khemri. That's the thing.
It's a tough one, isn't it? But you got to pick one of them.
I'm gonna go okay. I think the dwarves are gonna take second place just because of what the play pool looks like. I don't know Doomfrog that much. I know he's been in there a long time, but I haven't played him that much. I don't think I've ever played him in the league. But yeah, I think dwarves are gonna take second place.
Yeah, I'm I'm in the same sort of boat as you. I really want to pick the Vamps because of the 2 agility 5 pieces, but this is a tough one. I think because I can see some of these teams doing pretty well, and I do like Seston's team. But you know what? Second place, I'm going for Nuffle's Garage Band. I think the Goblins will get second. I think he did really well in a stronger play pool last season. And I think if anyone's going to beat them Chaos, it's going to be Jim's Goblins because they're sneaky. And he obviously wants to get his revenge on the Vamps. So I'm going to go Jim's Nuffle Garage Band for second. And who do you think will finish first?
Well, I have to go with Jim. Because that's what I said, right? That was my prediction.
Good lad. So you think Jim's going to win the play pool? The Chaos are coming nowhere. The Chaos have had a nightmare.
They're not even in the play pool, right? So they might not be able to play.
Yeah, well,
who knows?
Who knows? We can only hope there, can't we? The rest of them saying, yeah, we don't need them. Obviously, first place for me, I'm going to go with Rez and Almost Killy. I think they're just too powerful, too strong. And they will be my pick. So I'll go Garage Band second, Almost Killy first. Obviously, you've gone This Blood's for You second, Nuffle's Garage Band to come first. Yeah. There we go. We are all done. Our pleasure for the show, guys. Thanks for Murray for being a superstar, coming on very late. And watch the stream and get votes. Yeah, there you go. Jim says, watch the stream, get votes. Yeah, well, you did well last season. I think just a little bit more luck and you'll do all right. But you need to get an apothecary, Jim. I know these are goblins, but what if it's a really nice piece like a troll? What does? You need the apple. But
I just wish that there was. You know what would be perfect in this play pool?
What?
Like a fresh Dark Elf team. That would be pretty amazing.
They do pretty well, I think, to be fair. Fresh Dark Elf team.
But it would be interesting to see them like play against 1800 ogres. Vamps with agility 5. A dwarf team that can potentially roll over them. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim saying Apple is bloat. He don't care for his goblins.
It only works. I mean, half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. So yeah, definitely it's bloat.
Oh well, I just feel these polar goblins will get killed if they don't. But it is what it is, isn't it? But I wish him all the best. Trolls, regen. Regen's good if it works. My regen never works. But
I hope we're wrong about the predictions, and this is just going to be something outlandish, like one of the necromantic teams take like second spot, and then the vampires just wins the whole thing and just go on to the final and just do bullshit stuff.
Dead Corporation win all 7 games. That's probably going to happen now. We don't know anything about it. Watch it be someone like one of the world champions or something. We don't know who he is, but he's a world champion with Necro or something. He'll just rip this play pool apart.
Maybe it's like an Arion creating an alt account.
Yeah, something like that.
Just joining for a season.
Going, watch this. I don't know. Anyway, that's us done. Thanks for everyone in chat. Thanks obviously for Murray for joining in, and we'll see you tomorrow for another precap. Whatever it is, I do not know yet. So thanks again, and see you later.